My name is Jennifer from Revel North Fork. I am here today to share with you a way that you can make a mask that is fast. You don't have to know how to sew. You don't have to go to the store for a needle and a thread. It allows for customization as far as people having different profile shaped faces. And most importantly, the material that it's made of is called MERV 13. My friend Sandio was kind enough to share this information with me about a month ago when we knew that there wasn't going to be enough N95 masks. But this material, MERV 13, you could buy it from Home Depot. It has been tested in terms of being a filter, that it does block out particles that carry the virus. It has not been tested for the coronavirus particularly, but it is the closest material that we know of, as in me and my friend Sandy, that can actually block out particles that contain the virus. This material is safer than putting all your faith into a bandana, diapers, regular fabric, cotton. So this is why we are taking the time to share this information. The metal that we decided to leave on not only helps conform to the shape of the face, it makes this really nice seam, kind of the same way that the N95 masks, how they have that little metal ridge here. Well, this design has metal around the entire perimeter that really helps conform, allowing for more customization on different profile faces. Also, the metal cage that is made out of stainless steel, some companies use aluminum. It adds for a really nice, secure point of connection. Um, During this video, I was actually wearing an N95 mask that I found in my garage from an old project. Um, and the rubber band, when I left, came flying off. And I, I'm not in the medical field, so I can only imagine how scary that must be. And I know that I'm not the only one that that's happened to. So another reason why we decided to leave the metal mesh on. One downer about it is that it does make it hard to wash. I washed mine in the laundry with a bunch of other things, and this metal did tear apart in a couple spots. I could have fixed it, but it's not anything I feel confident enough in telling people to do. But the material was fine. The material is good apparently for 3 months. Two more fast pointers. When you go to buy your material, just make sure that you buy MERV 13, not MERV 10. MERV 13 has a tighter knit. Also, make sure that your MERV does not contain fiberglass. This material has a metal mesh on the back, and the front is a soft, almost feels like felt, but much stronger. In some of the videos, you see people trying to pull it off, and sometimes this felty-like material you can see comes off with it, and I feel like it can hinder the structural integrities. It comes in a box. There's 3 sheets in a box. It comes like an accordion almost, and once you stretch it out, it's about the size of this table. You could get 12 mask templates on one sheet, and there's 3 sheets in a box, so you could get 36 masks per box. I'm not sure what the price is off the top of my head, but it comes down to like $1 a mask. My design has no cutting other than cutting out the shape. There's no holes or sewing. It's one solid piece to help eliminate any seepage. I made a paper template that you could find on the website below. You can print it out to use it to make your own. And you'll see here I have my fold where I'm going to fold. Looks like a little off center. The fold marks. Which I had then tried to transfer, not so neat, but it's good enough, you know, onto this material. And I obviously drew it on the side that the metal mesh is not on.
Okay, so you have your overall shape here, and these are my fold lines. So basically I'll start with the center one, and I'm going to connect this line with this line. And I'm going to do this. Just be careful you don't tear your gloves, because the little wire on the outside will hurt and it will poke a hole in your glove. That's the only downside with keeping the metal on. So same thing here. I'm going to connect this line and this line like that. And this is just to start to get that foam shape. Once I connect it, I simply just bend it back, bend it in. That's all. It's just a series of folds, kind of like origami. And then here again, I'm going to connect the line with the line. Sorry, it's a little messy. My template will be neater that you could find on the website below. Okay. And I sterilized everything before I started this project. I sterilized my scissor, my marker, the table, everything. The material box has been sitting outside for weeks. Not messing around with this. So now you can see that it starts to take the shape of the mask, but it still has these horrible edges. So then you turn it over and you slowly just start to basically fold it in. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to fold it in twice. And I'm disappointed that I've heard so little about it. And I think that it really could have made a difference. But we are very sufficient people, and now we know what materials can help us, so we can help ourselves. Okay, so see how that looks a little bit not that great. So then I'm just going to roll back everything one more time. I'm just making a nice little roll seam. That way it fits nice against your face. It doesn't poke you when you're trying to put it on. But it doesn't take long. It really doesn't. I think that I could probably make one of these in like 3 minutes. And even laying them out on the sheet and cutting them all out, that took not so long, maybe like 5 minutes. See? So now you got your shape here. This is where it fits on your nose.
So initially we were going to use rubber bands with a staple on the sides of the masks, the same way that the N95 masks are made. However, towards the end of the video, oh my god, I just broke a strap on my mask. So we are going to try a new method, and we find that the metal of the cage is actually multifunctional. We did sterilize the rubber bands by boiling them. We gave them a quick blanch. We're not sure where they came from, but better safe than sorry.
So now you have your overall form. You're just going to go around the edges one last time just to make sure there's nothing poking. And let's say that there is an area that's uncomfortable. You could always roll it out to try to fix it. Find where the pokey part is. Like let's say this part here is poking. You could just cut that part, cut it here and here, and straighten out the wires, and then just bend it back in, and it won't be a problem. Okay. So when you attach the bands, these are basically jumbo rubber bands. You could buy them from Staples. They come in about a pack of 5 different colors. You could see here what the end products look like. They also have a blue and a red. But I attached them in the same spot that they would be attached on the N95, which is the upper corners here. So you take your rubber band and you just slide it in back of the cage, just like that. All right, and what I do is I basically just do 3 knots because I want to be extra sure and careful. And obviously I cut my rubber band. It's not a connected rubber band. So I did 3 knots on that corner. And then I'm going to go to the other side and try to make it as symmetrical as possible. and connect it here. And I'm going to do the same thing with the 3 knots. It's a little bit hard to get. Just try to move some of that felty-like material aside, and it'll come through. And then you're going to do 3 knots. 1, 2, and 1 more for good luck. And I do think this is better than staples. I actually bought the proper size staple. I bought the staple gun, but the rubber band did slide out of the staple in the N95 I was wearing and also on my test. So I found that this is much more secure. You can tug on that and it is not going anywhere. Okay, so then the bottom one is about 1 inch, 1.5 inches below the first one. So I'm going to attach it here, the corner. And you can have fun with the rubber bands. You could put different colors. Also, I feel like the colors help because you know which one you've already worn. I was hoping that these would wash well, but I did wash mine with other things in the washing machine and the metal cage did break. I was able to kind of form it back up again, but it wasn't as good as I was hoping, so I'm not pitching this as a washable mask. This is good for a one-time use. If you want to make something fast, if let's say, I don't know, a department or some kind of establishment needed masks fast, I would say this is the way to go.
Okay, so for the final unveiling, the final unmasking, you just hold it up to your face. Okay. Take the top rubber band and put it over your head. Take the bottom level rubber band and put it over your head. Might help not to wear earrings. Alright. So you can see it gets close right away. I can't feel any air. It feels pretty good. I mean, it's super tight. Tight like, not tight like you wanna, rip it off, but tight to where you can't feel any of the hot air that comes out of your mouth at any of the sides. I feel like it's a better connection and more secure and conforming than the surgical masks, the blue surgical masks. I can't promise and I can't prove it, but it feels pretty good. Order it online while you can. I've heard that this material has been selling out. I've known about it, to be honest, for probably 3 weeks now. I did not want to yell it from the rooftops because I wanted to tell local politicians to see if possibly they could start stockpiling it because I knew that we would have no N95 masks and I thought it would be the next best. But I respect their decision, and their answer was that they cannot tell people to go out and buy this material because it has not been tested. It has passed tests as far as being an air filter. I mean, you could even see like it feels just like the N95. The material looks like the N95, and people are not going to tell you that because it hasn't been tested. Nobody wants to be accountable, including myself. But myself virus free so I could help make masks. I'm not a medical professional. I do have an industrial design, product design background. That's actually what I went to school for. Most people don't know that. I'm not the best product designer out there, far from it. But I do think that this design could help